so excited to introduce you to our guest today. She is from Call Me Mother Season 2. She's also made an appearance on RuPaul's Drag Race and is from the legendary House of Couture. Also, I think her name is pretty cool because it also happens to be my name and spelt the same way. Please welcome Makayla Couture. Makayla, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, oh my god, I'm so excited.
We are so excited to have you. Now, this is something that our listeners might not know, but we actually connected through Twitter when I went and followed you because I was like, oh my gosh, our names are spelt the same because my name's never spelt the same as anybody else's, and I was like, I have to follow her because of this whole thing. And we followed.
Okay, honestly, the fact that no one ever has the Makayla spelling.
Exactly.
It was a match made in heaven.
Right, exactly. My dad spelt it this way because he can't spell in his head, so he had to be able to sound out my name. And so everybody else is the Michaela or whatever, and my dad's like, well, yours is not that. And I'm like, that's true. That's very true.
I think our way of spelling it is the best way to do it.
I agree. I think we're the coolest for that.
Oh, definitely.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I just wanted to kiki with you and talk a little bit about the episode that just happened because the premiere episode just happened of Call Me Mother, which you were on, which is so exciting. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angel.
Oh my goodness. So how did you get into doing drag? What is your backstory kind of thing?
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I always tell people that I've been doing drag since I came out of the womb. I came out in 6-inch stiletto heels and ready to pump. But I didn't really officially start drag until I was 16. My high school had this kind of a, I think they called it a drag queen photo shoot thingy, and they knew that I liked putting on makeup and wigs at the time. I identified as male, and so they were like, oh, I'm sure you can whip something together and make it draggy. And I was like, okay, I can try. So I did that, and then I was wearing my sister's old prom dress, this big coiffed hair that my mom had, and then I did my makeup, took 2 periods to do it, which gosh. I was so happy to skip class.
You were like, this is my excuse. I get to skip class and I get to put makeup on.
Fully. Literally that. I have this moment to not go to class. Absolutely, I'm gonna take it. So I got ready, and then it was basically over another 2 periods of lunch, for example. So there was lunch A and then lunch B, which technically is one whole lunch, but it's broken up for some students. And so throughout lunch A and lunch B, people could walk through the main hallway, and there I was with a photographer, a background, some music playing, and I got to, it was basically a meet and greet essentially.
They
and
said,
it's
here's so your makeup, you were all done up, and here's your meet and greet, go meet her, go talk to her.
No, literally that. It was it was having a meet and greet, but weirdly, it's these are people I go to school with. They know me. Yeah. What is this meet and greet moment? But I had so much fun. We raised funds for, I don't remember, I think it's Rainbow Railroad here in, I'm pretty sure they're Canadian based. I don't think it's just Toronto.
I think so too.
Only.
I know that there's other ones and stuff, and I'm pretty sure Rainbow Railroad is all over the place.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we did some raising some funds for Rainbow Railroad, which was so amazing, and I had the best time ever. And I don't think that was the moment that really made me want to do drag, but it was the first time that I had done drag, and from there on, I just continued to do it all the time. The following year, they had asked me to do a drag show with 2 other people, one of them being my friend and then another student of the school, and literally from that show, they were just like, Makayla, we think you're amazing. The TSB school board would love for you to go to other schools and kind of do the same thing. So I got the opportunity to kind of go to different schools and do drag and miss class.
Oh my gosh.
And just do what I loved.
That's incredible that the school board was so supportive in the way that they were like, you go do this, like, you do it, you're good at it, you do it kind of thing. Because not all school boards would be like that, so that's really cool that they were.
Oh, definitely. It was honestly like such an amazing moment for me because it was like really great to connect to other students who are also queer. And a lot of them people who couldn't come out at the time. And so to be there and be this like out queer person who's literally the same age as them or roughly around the same age, it was nice for them to be able to see someone like them.
That's awesome. Okay. So, I heard you talk about this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to ask you anyways because I'm curious. So, how did you end up auditioning for Call Me Mother?
Oh my god. Okay, so I actually wasn't going to audition, and I'm sure if Robin's listening to this, I ignored her messages for like a week. Like,
oh my god.
I did not. I was like, I'm not auditioning for this. I'm okay because, and I love season 1. Season 1 was so amazing.
Totally.
But I was like, I feel like I could do better, you know? So I was just like, I'm not going to audition. And so maybe a week or so after me kind of like ignoring her, my manager, Daniel, he reached out to me and he was like, hey, you know, so-and-so reached out to me. They want you on the show. Like, you should do it. And I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. Maybe I will audition. So I audition and I make it through. And like the process of the audition was almost exactly like Drag Race.
Oh, really?
It literally was like almost exactly like Drag Race, and I had already done the Drag Race audition, so I knew what I needed to do, what they were looking for. Like, I knew exactly what I had to do to like get onto the show.
Right, so it was kind of like that process of like, I'm not going to do this, but then, I'm going to do this, but I know exactly how I'm going to do this so that I do get into this show. And
exactly.
Things.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And even at the time when I was auditioning, I guess like you heard this already because I had talked about this, but at the time there was kind of like this like overall like I don't know, I'm assuming like just a lot of people within Toronto from what I heard.
Yeah.
Kind of were just like, you know, Makayla is just, she's not ready. Like she needs a lot of growing to do and whatnot. And like, sure, we all need a lot of growing to do, but I didn't think I was as bad as people were making it sound. So I think that's what also pushed me was kind of just like the idea of, you know, wanting to prove everyone wrong and show that like I can do this. I can make it to the end. I can like get on a show and kill it.
Totally. No, that absolutely makes sense. I mean, even like out here in Vancouver where I am, there's constantly people out there who are like, oh my gosh, these people who I think are like incredible performers and stuff like that, they'll be like, they need all this polish, all this needs to be figured out before they do anything. And I'm like, you know, they're trying their best, and honestly, everybody needs a little bit of polish here and there, even if you're like the most big professional in the entire industry too. So. Oh,
definitely. Definitely. There is like so many people that I look up to, and I look up to them because they are flawed. Like they don't have, they are not the like ideal mold, and I don't even know if there is an ideal mold, of like what a drag queen needs to be. I think that every single queen is unique in their own way and brings something different that the other person doesn't have.
Absolutely. No, that's definitely a good point. So at the beginning of the episode, we got a little bit of an introduction to everybody who's in the cast. So what did it feel like when you stepped out and you were like, I'm on this like thing, and you had to say your little like catchphrase or whatever you want to call it? I mean, that kind of thing. What did it feel like when you stepped out of the car there?
My god. Okay, so so when we filmed the little clip of us getting out of the car, that was filmed on the actual first day of filming.
Oh my goodness.
Technically, so that voiceover and me and my confessional during that little segment, that was filmed like a few days before, because you kind of like introduce yourself and all that, and so I didn't know that was going to be like synced up together, but seeing it all like was kind of insane. Like when I had gotten out of that car, they were just like, okay, just like pose and like move and keep doing things for like 30 seconds and then walk off, and I was like, okay.
You're
And
like,
we
what an
shot,
interesting situation to put me in, but sure.
right? Right? I was like, oh my god, this is like hard. But on the first one, I thought, okay, so someone was on the other side of the door that we opened up, and so we had to just like pull on it lightly, and then that person would open it for us completely, so that we didn't have to struggle.
Right.
But I was confused because I'm just dumb. So when I had like gone to open the door, I like kind of like didn't even pull on it. I just like put my hand on it and assumed that they were gonna stop filming, and they were like, "Makayla, you need to open the door," and I went, "Oh, okay." And I like struggled with my bag, like opening it, like my luggage was like slamming against the door.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, they were like, "This was a perfect take up until that moment, so we're gonna do that again." Yeah, we shot my thing twice, but you know what? At least I'm not like other people, because I heard some people did it more than 2 times.
In all honesty, I probably would have done the exact same thing. Because, like, I would have been like, oh, there's someone on the other side. Like, I'll just, like, start to try to open it, but I'm not actually going to. And then they would have looked at me really weird and very confused.
Right? Yeah, no, I'm just very socially awkward. Me doing anything, I look like a complete fool all the time, so...
But that's the most fun part about it, though. It's like, you get to make... if you know that you look like a fool, I think it's more fun. Because you're like, well, at least I'm gonna look like a fool. Like, it's not like you're scared you're gonna look like a fool, because you know you're gonna look like a fool already.
Exactly. Totally. Exactly that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyways, we get into the episode and you guys find out that there is going to be an elimination of not 1, not 2, but 3 individuals from the competition. Were you gooped and gagged like we were when we were watching?
I think all of Canada was gooped and gagged. I think everyone watching was like, oh, all right. There's a lot of people who are upset and think that it's very unfair. I don't know if I can say what my take is on it. You know what? I already did, so we're going to do it anyways.
We're going to do it anyways. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen whether they like it or not. I feel like bringing 3 extra people... Even that, no. Because I don't think it was 3 extra people. I'm pretty sure it was like a whole 5 extra people.
Yeah.
Because as they mentioned at the end of this episode, that next week's episode will be a double elimination.
Right.
So essentially, within 2 episodes, you already have 5 people gone. For me, I think that they did not need to bring an extra 5 people. I think starting with a cast of 10 and moving from there would have been fine.
Like they did last season.
Exactly. I think the format of last season was fine. I know that one of the judges had talked to me about this on set at some point. It was just telling me that like they had asked for additional people to have more options.
Yeah. But
for me, I personally do feel that if you want more options, look at the people you're casting and then move from there. Because you already casted a bunch of people. So you casted 15, and then you know that the first episode is like an additional audition.
Yeah. You
kind of already have an idea of who you want when you're looking at, all these people that have auditioned. So why not just like, I think that maybe 12. 12 would have been fine. I would have been fine with 12.
Right.
Because then if it was like a first episode double elimination, I'd been like, okay, that's not bad. Like, it's literally just one more extra person. At the end of the day, someone's gonna go home.
Exactly.
But when you take away the dreams of like 3 people and then do it again in the second episode, it doesn't necessarily feel like you're looking for more options. It feels like you're looking for drama. Okay. And drama does not have to be made through production. Drama can be, we're people. We literally find annoyance in one another all the time. Like, use that as good TV, not messing with people through production, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even when we had it in that first episode of season 1, when we lost one person, I was even shocked on that and saying that, like, they've taken all this time, they've taken all this money to create these things for this competition, and they don't
Yeah.
even get a chance to see any of it. Like, it's just like the first little like runway and the talent thing. Like, okay, great, but there's so much more they could have shown. And I think
Definitely.
adding this, like, as much as I appreciate a good drama moment, I think adding the extra people in and having those eliminations and kind of things, it just wasn't necessary in this kind of situation.
Yeah. No, definitely. And like I said before, someone has to go home. That's how competitions work. But again, like we both said, it's just there was no need. There was no need for that.
Absolutely. So we get through this whole thing about being gooped and gagged and stuff, and you guys go to start. You have 2 hours to get ready for your runway. And what was your thought going through in your head? Kind of, I know that they saw in your little bit of your confessional that you weren't really like looking at anybody else. You were kind of just focusing on yourself. Was that really the mindset that you were kind of feeling at that point?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have very bad anxiety, and when I'm around a large group of people, I tend to start talking less. And so in what they showed was exactly what happened. I was reacting to other people talking, but I was not talking myself. The only time I talked, which did not make it in there, was Shay D actually asked me a question about my transness. And I will stop there because I do not want to get these people in trouble.
Absolutely.
But someone had stopped the conversation from happening, which is totally fine. They have other things that they need to film. But I just like, I did not want to, I don't know, especially knowing that 3 people were going home, it's like, I don't want to get attached to anyone right now. I kind of want to just like focus on me, focus on getting into a house, and then getting to that crowd.
Totally. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I have anxiety as well, and whenever I'm kind of really focused on something, I have to focus on that, or else I'm going to start panicking about something else. So I probably would have been exactly the same way. I would have been like kind of reacting and stuff, but been in my own little world, in my little makeup counter kind of thing. So
yeah, definitely.
Totally.
Especially I'm like someone, I find that I'm like influenced by other people's thoughts and emotions very easily.
Yeah.
So if someone goes like, if someone's like, oh, I'm really nervous, like what if this goes wrong, so forth and so forth, that will like, I will take that on. Like it will impede my thoughts and my feelings. And so there was a few people who were actually, unfortunately, they were all around me at that moment. So I was really trying my best not to listen to anyone and like just continue doing my makeup.
Yeah.
And also a little tea, the shots of us doing our makeup was not filmed the actual day that we filmed the runway.
Oh, really?
That was filmed the day before. Yes. Yeah. So when we were doing our makeup and having those conversations, we literally had, like, it happened the day before, essentially.
Wow. So it had, like, a very big, like, space in between, like, doing your makeup and then, like, doing your makeup for runway kind of thing.
Exactly. You kind of had to just, like, whatever you were going to do the following day, you had to do that day. And then when we actually had runway day, that's when you would, do your face exactly like how you would want it to be. We were told that it was going to be a quick beat and that we wouldn't have to put on too much. But I only take about an hour and 30 minutes before I used to only take an hour and 30 minutes to like do my makeup. Now it's just a little bit longer. But when they were filming, I was like halfway done all of my face, and I was like, are you guys gonna stop filming now? Like, I'm like wasting so much product right now.
You're like, I'm
so
totally
I ended up finishing my face. But oh well.
I mean, it's classic when they're just like continuing to talk and whatever, and you're like,
yeah,
I have just lipstick left to do. Let's finish this now, please.
Yeah, no, it literally got to a point where I was kind of just sitting there and like listening to other people like have conversations, and they were like, pretend to like put on powder or something. And I was like, I can do that like one or two times, but after a while, it literally just looks like I'm doing this like for a whole hour.
That's all you see on the thing is just you doing powder the entire time. They're like, does she ever do anything else?
Yeah, she just does her makeup so fast, and she's just like, yeah, packing my face with powder the whole time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So you guys get out onto the runways, and you guys, basically, this specific thing was done so that the mothers were able to see you guys and kind of get to know your, like, style a little bit before they were able to clack their fans for you guys and get you guys into houses. What was your feeling of, like, stepping out onto that runway? Because you walk with such a confidence to you, and it always makes me feel like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I wish I had that confidence, because you just, like, strut, and in your beautiful purple gown, oh my gosh, so stunning. Like, you walked out, and you said in your thing, you were like, purple is, like, the color of royalty, and I was like, she looked like royalty when she stepped out onto the, like, runway. Like, she is, like, ready for this crown. She's coming for the crown. So what was your kind of feelings?
I was so ready in that moment. Like, obviously, I am no stranger to a runway and cameras. And so I was just like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have my moment. I'm going to live my life. I'm also just like, I don't know. I don't necessarily... While filming, I was never necessarily intimidated by what the judges thought of what I was wearing. I never ever was like scared to show what I had. Right. What I brought, I'm proud of, and if they don't like it, that's on them. That's my opinion in life, just like in general. I don't care about what other people have to say. I'm going to show you what I have, and I'm going to be proud of it. And so when I turned that corner, and even before that, like standing and getting ready to like walk out onto the stage, I knew that like this was going to be my moment, and I'm gonna be that star. This also did not make it into the edit, but I said in my confessionals that like I'm not worried. I have no concern about anyone or anything in this competition, because I was just so laser focused on, what I have, and like really proud of like what I brought, and what I knew I could do. So yeah, I'm just like to this day so happy about that moment. And I'm so thankful for Eve 6000 for designing my gown.
Yes, we love Eve 6000. I met her when I went to the Canada's Drag Race Season 2 tour. And I was wearing my Cynthia Kiss hoodie, and she designed the drawing that's on the Cynthia Kiss hoodie, and so she pointed at it, she was like, I designed that! I was like, I know you did! And she's so talented, like incredibly talented, wonderful, talented, everything.
She's a phenomenal being. Like, I genuinely love her so much. She actually, I knew her before I filmed my Drag Race thing, and before I was even like in the Toronto scene.
Yeah.
We were mutuals on TikTok, and so we would just like interact every once in a while. But I was very busted, and like over time we just like created a bond, and she's like, in a sense, I almost see her as like another drag mother for me. She's just phenomenal, and I really do appreciate her.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. When you're hanging out with a person, or when you're talking to a person a lot, you kind of start to grow into something that's a bigger, I was gonna say friendship, but like relationship kind of thing. Because you're spending so much time with them, and they're helping you, and you're helping them, and you can learn from each other. And that's like the coolest part about those kind of relationships as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, you also mentioned your family, your mother and your sister, in your runway. Can you elaborate on your relationship with your family?
Oh my god. Okay. Well, for one, my mom was sitting right beside me at the viewing party last night, and it was so touching, because she had never seen me in drag like in person, and so she was just like sobbing as she watched the show, which was so touching and so beautiful to see. My family is Jamaican and Christian. So we are very, very Western. They are not Western. They are very old school, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
and very traditional. And so when I came out to my mom, we were not on the best of terms. My mom did not like the path that I was going down. So it's almost really beautiful to see the complete 180 of her just like so accepting and loving of what I do. Just like appreciates and adores like all of my drag. And my sister, who was like my number one support from forever ago, when I came out, that's when we really became closer. Because my mom started kind of I don't want to say pushing me away, because I know that she meant well. I know that she had a lot of love for me. She just couldn't get past her own ideas and beliefs of, you know, what a man and what a woman is, and what their roles are in life. And so my sister was kind of like, she took on that mom role for me for a very long time. And so when I did that runway, it really, my drag as a whole, but specifically that runway, was like truly just a thank you to like both of them who, you know, whether or not they accepted me right away, they took the time to love me and accept who I am as a person, and have become my number one supporters. And I'm so thankful for them.
That's incredible. I love hearing those kind of stories, because like I'm super close to my mom, and so it's really cool that your mom was like, I think a lot of people have those relationships where like it takes some understanding, and they kind of have to grow, and they have to learn with you, and you have to learn with them, and you have to be patient with them, and eventually they kind of come and understand kind of where you are and where they are and that kind of stuff. So it's really lovely to hear something like that. I really love that so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I just think that like whenever people come out, to anyone who's even thinking of coming out, understand that like not everyone's gonna accept you right away. And while it is incredibly just like such an awful feeling to have to go through, things do get better over time. And sometimes you have to look out for your chosen family. I realized that over time, my blood family and my chosen family are not always going to be the same people. And so you have to be able to understand that you're not always going to be accepted, and that you need to have that chosen family to fall onto, because blood family is not always going to be there for you.
Absolutely. I mean, he's not here right now because of a family situation, but one of my chosen drag sisters, DJ, who's my co-host on this podcast, we're super, super close with ourselves, and also with our other drag sister, Mystic Minx, or Nathaniel Minx. And we kind of connected through the pandemic, and kind of not having that closeness that we really wanted and needed. And we actually connected through drag and through that kind of stuff, and it kind of brought us together into this little family, and now they're stuck with me. They don't have a choice. So.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. And I mean, we all live in different areas, but even through like being able to like talk and communicate and stuff like that, you kind of make these bonds that I don't think are ever going to be breakable. I mean, we fight all the time, but that's what family does, right? So
I think this is why I love chosen families, drag families, ballroom families. Like, at the root of it, everything comes down to just like, you know, supporting one another and loving one another. And not a lot of people have that. When I was during the pandemic, I literally had absolutely no one. And it took me time to actually create a chosen family for myself. And once I had that, I was like, I'm not letting go of this, because these people mean so much to me. And of course, with time, my chosen family I've had people within my chosen family leave, and I've had new people come in, but that's also just life. You have people come into your life, and you have people leave, and yeah, you're gonna meet so many different people as you continue to grow.
Absolutely. All right, so moving on from this lovely runway, this family runway that we're talking about, we move into the talent portion. And even during your runway, we could tell that Peppermint was just like ready to clack her fan for you. She was like so ready. She was like, "Can I clack it now?" And you didn't even get 10 seconds into your dance number, which was energy galore. I wrote in my notes, I literally wrote energy next to the entire thing because you came out like a rocket. It was insane. But you don't even get 10 seconds into it, and she goes, "Oh no, she's mine. Like, I am clacking that fan for her, and that is what's happening." How did that feel when you heard that clack of that fan go?
Okay, I honestly, and I just want to say, that fan clack actually happened even earlier than what was shown. I literally, I kid you not, I'm pretty sure as soon as I turned the corner and you could see who it was, that was the second she clapped her fan.
She really wanted you.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Like, I was like, oh my God, okay. And, like, I love that people on Twitter are just like, yeah, Peppermint knew. She knew. Like, it was the correct choice. And I'm like, yeah, she better know. Like, yes, it was such an amazing moment because it just shown that I had so much star power just from my runway alone and just from my entrance of my performance. I hadn't even really started anything. I was literally just walking out with a little style, but I was just walking out to do my number. And so to have that much star power and have someone see that much star power in you, I couldn't be more happy. And I will say, I don't know if this is 100% true, but from my understanding, off cameras, Peppermint made it very clear that the other two were not allowed to pick me.
She was like, "I am taking her, and that is what's happening." The end.
Yes. So I'm happy with my pick. I'm really happy.
I love that. I mean, especially because you're so big on like representation and stuff like that, and because Peppermint is part of the Black trans community as you are, and I'm sure that meant a lot that she saw something in you that she wanted to have you on in her house.
Yeah. No. Fully 100% that. Like I'm not sure if she said it during that specific episode, but she says at some point that she sees so much of herself in me, and I was like, wow. I looked up to Peppermint forever. Like the second we were introduced to her from Drag Race, I've been in love with her and like all the things that she does, and I continue to follow her journey because she is such an incredible person, and for someone to say that to me just meant so much.
Absolutely. So congratulations on getting into the House of Dulcet. That's very, very exciting. Yay, exciting. We love that for you. I mean, from
fun
the
time, so little fun. Dancey dance.
Little dancey dance moment. I'm sure like when you went off the stage, you were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening," kind of moment.
Oh, I was gagged.
You were gooped, you were gagged, you were like...
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
I think you were also probably thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have to talk in tea time. Because, like, for me, that was the most intimidating part of the entire thing. Like, them having to stand there and be like, this is why you should pick me, kind of thing. Like, I was terrified for them. I was like, this is crazy.
I'm someone who, like, when people ask me to do, like, speeches or anything... I don't know what to say ever. Like, I just kind of like let words flow, and I'm also really bad with words. So sometimes I just like will like be speaking and go blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm.
I do that too.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
All the time. My favorite is I'll say something and then I'll do that and then I'll go, sorry, I don't know English. And then I'll just continue with what I'm saying.
Because English, what is it? I
right?
don't know. I'm not sure. Let's exist.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Oh my gosh.
Right? So I definitely wouldn't have made it through tea time. I definitely would have been sent home.
They would have been like, this girl can like work it and stuff, but her speaking, no.
Her speaking is awful. Get her out of here.
Get her out of here. She's gone. Gone. Oh my gosh. So I'm ending each interview with like these 2 questions. So the first question is, can you describe the season in 3 words?
To describe the season in 3 words, it would be couture, hilarious, and drama.
Oh, we love drama. We love a good drama moment.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Awesome. And then the final question that I have for you is, I'm a baby queen performer in Vancouver, and I just want to know, what advice do you have for baby drag performers like myself?
My advice to baby performers would be continue to be you and allow yourself the ability to grow as you continue moving within this industry. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to try to tell you who you are, but allow yourself to find that out on your own. You know, try out different things, try out different styles, try out, different variations of drag so that you can really see what you fit in. Like, I would never, ever, ever consider myself as a funny or campy person, but I learned so much about myself during this season of Call Me Mother, and I cannot wait for you guys to see, because you always are ever growing and ever changing. You will never ever be constant. You'll never ever be the same person, especially in drag. So yeah, just allow yourself to continue to grow.
I love that. That's great advice. Like, I'm definitely going to take that into my everyday drag persona and stuff like that. So that's super awesome. Anyways, I think that's all the time that we have today, but I want to thank you so much for coming and doing this interview with me today. Where can everybody find you on socials?
Oh my god, yes. On Instagram, you can find me at Makayla.Couture. I'm also Makayla.Couture on TikTok. And on Twitter, I am just Makayla Couture.
Awesome. Aubrey, thank you so much again, Makayla, for taking the time to come and interview us. And we hope that you do amazingly on the season, and we can't wait to see what the season has in store.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I had so much fun, and I will see you guys soon.